Good afternoon, investors. Welcome to the second part of our Technical Analysis 101 from Charts to Profits webinar series. We're thrilled to have you all back, but if you are new and you missed our first part, don't worry because you can check out the replay on our Facebook page. Today, we'll be discussing the second part of our webinar series, which is all about how to execute your trades. But just a reminder to all our participants to please keep your microphones muted during the entire session. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box or the comment section so that we can answer them later in the Q&A portion. So grab your pens, open your notepads, and get ready to absorb some invaluable knowledge, and let's jump right into it. Our speaker today is Jared Tin, my fellow Dragonfire researcher. Jared was a financial economics and finance major at DLSU. He was the former executive vice president for investment analysis at DLSU's Investor Society and ranked second in the Investagram's 2021 Trading Cup. He currently trades in the Philippine and US markets. So take it away, Jared.
So good day, everyone. So I'm very happy that you're all here. So today is a continuation of the previous session where we learned how to create your watch list. So now today's topic will be how to apply risk and trade management to your trading. So let's begin. So just a recap of the last session. So we learned how to look at your fundamentals and technicals. So if you found the stock using fundamentals, you look at their technicals. If you found the stock using their technicals, you look at their fundamentals. And from there, you can craft your watch list. So after you have your watch list, you go back to the technicals, you plot your support, your resistance. And after that, you go to your trade planning, which is your entry, stop loss, and target. So planning that out. Then once you have it, there you have your trade plan. So what's the next step? So now that you have a trade plan, the question is, all in na ba? So what do you think, Franco? All in na ba?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Right? So, right? No, we're not supposed to go all in just because we have a trade plan. So if we're not going to go all in, so what do we do then? So the answer is risk management. So that's really the holy grail in trading, how you will survive in the markets, how you will not get burned. It's through risk management, specifically position sizing. So why do we need to have risk management? So again, trading is like rolling a dice. So you're just playing the probability game, and you're just not sure if the dice will roll in your favor or not, right? So that's why you have to keep your bets at a sizable amount. Then next is, example, let's say nag-all-in ka. Franco, what's your emotions if nag-all-in ka?
Usually, if it's an all-in position, there's both fear and excitement, which I don't think is a healthy thing to have.
Yeah, diba? So medyo nakakatakot, diba, if you're all in. So that's the point. If you're all in, your emotions are very high. So unlike if you kept your position at a reasonable amount, right? You sized it very well, then you're throwing away most of those bad emotions, right? So you can be objective. So now let's begin, right? So let's go to the first step. So the first step in position sizing is to first determine what's the max amount you want to lose per trade. So let's say si Juan, he has 100,000 pesos to start with. So you should ask Juan, how much are you willing to lose per trade? So let's say si Juan, he only wants to lose 1% of his entire portfolio per trade. So that would mean he's only risking 1,000 pesos. So 1,000 pesos is 1% of his 100,000. So 1,000 is 1% of his whole 100,000, okay? So basically, if you're gonna trade, you're only risking this small amount, diba? You're only risking this much. So that means if you place a trade, if the price hits your stop loss, tumama sa stop loss mo, you should only be losing a maximum of 1,000 pesos. So how you can think about it is, think of it as a video game. Diba sa mga video games may mga health bar? So it looks like this, diba? Yung mga hearts. So let's say you have 100 lives, diba? 100 heart bars, diba? So if you lose a trade, you just lose 1 health bar, diba? Isa lang. But okay lang, diba? Kasi you have 99 more, diba? Kasi you have 100 lives to begin with. So think of trading as a game, right? You have 100 health bars, and if you lose, diba, you only lose one. So this means that for you to get wiped out, para mag-game over, you need to lose 100 times. So medyo malas ka na, diba? If you lose 100 trades in a row, diba, Franco?
Yeah. You
So
gotta go back and revisit your trading plan.
yep. So essentially, that's how you should think of trading. Think of it as a game where you have 100 lives. So as a rule of thumb, you should only risk 1% of your total portfolio so that you have 100 lives. So if you risk 2%, that means you have 50 lives. Okay, so just think of it like that. So next slide. So next, okay, so this is the very confusing part because it involves math. So di talaga maiwasan to, di ba? So if you're gonna trade, you have to do a bit of math, just arithmetic math, di ba? Di naman super complicated. So how do we compute for your position size? So first, this is assuming na walang fees. Okay, so no trading fees, yun muna. So the formula is your loss per trade divided by your entry price minus your stop loss price. So example, like from the previous slide, let's say your loss per trade is 1,000 pesos. So 1,000 pesos, that's your loss per trade. So we put it here. Then we get your entry minus your stop loss price. So let's say your entry price, 10 pesos minus 9 pesos. So 1,000 divided by 10 minus 1. So that will become 1,000 divided by 1. So that would equal 1,000. So what is 1,000? That is the number of shares you should be buying at your entry price. So with 1,000 pesos, you multiply that by your entry price. So your entry price is 10. So 1,000 shares times 10 pesos, your position size will be 10,000 pesos. Okay? So assuming back that you have a 100,000 peso portfolio value, you are only allocating 10% of your whole portfolio on that trade. So where did you get 10%? You have 10,000, your position size, divided by your portfolio value, which is 100,000 pesos. So that's how you compute the math, right? How do you do the math? How do you compute your position size? And how much of your portfolio are you actually allocating for that trade, okay? So next naman is, we have to account for the fees. So alam naman natin na when you trade in the PSE, may fees ka, di ba? Hindi siya no fees. So to mitigate that, how do you compute that? So ganito lang siya. Loss per trade, pero there's some additional steps. So entry times 1.00295, then stop loss minus stop loss times 0.00795. So I would recommend na screenshot niyo na lang to because even me, ako, di ko memorize to. So what I do is I input it in an Excel file so that I don't have to compute it myself. So I think you should screenshot this na lang.
Yeah, and if you want the breakdown of the fees, you can go to the PSE's website, which is pse.com.ph, and then you can find all the trading fees for the buy side and sell side.
Yep. So essentially, parang simple lang. So just plug in the given. So example, loss per trade. So you plug in 1,000 pesos. Your 10 will be there. Your 9 would be there. So just compute it. So in this example, we got a result of 908.22 shares. But you have to round it down kasi sa PSE, we have something called the board lot, right? So you cannot buy 908 shares, diba? Parang you can only buy 900. So dapat flat number. So you have to also adjust it to the board lot. So here we get 900 shares. So 900 shares times 10 pesos na entry price, your position size would be 9,000 pesos na lang. Then assuming a 100,000 peso portfolio value, you're gonna allocate 9% of your portfolio. So if you look back, so the one without fees, mas mataas in allocation, diba? So here, it's 1,000 shares. But if you account for the fees, mas mababa, diba? 9,000 na lang. So if you don't want to compute this, here's another hack. So what you can do is you can just stick to this formula. So compute it without fees. Then you times 0.9 na lang. Because from this example, you can see that here, assuming no fees, your position size is 1,000 shares, di ba? Pero with fees, naging 900 shares na lang. So parang 10% off lang siya. So if you want a hack, di ba? Compute mo na lang to times 0.9 to get the fees, to get the position size accounting for the PSE fees. So that's one hack you can do. So there. So now let's have an example. So let's say this is a sample trade plan. So let's say you found this support level. So bakit siya support level? Diba? Once price went to this level, tumalbog, diba? Once it hit this level, tumalbog, diba? So you can see that there's a lot of buyers supporting this price. Kaya siya support. Then here, why is this resistance? You can see na this level, kapag price goes here, bumabagsak siya. When price goes here, bumabagsak. Price goes here, bumabagsak. So there's a lot of sellers at this price level, di ba? Kaya siya resistance. So here, our trade idea is a buy on support, di ba? So bili tayo dito. So 1.43 sa support. Let's say your stop loss is 1.36 below the support. Then yung target natin, nasa 1.7 at resistance, di ba? So let's say you also have a 100,000 peso portfolio value, then you're risking 1% lang ng portfolio mo. So how you would compute it is parang ganito lang. So just plug in the given. So loss per trade, 1,000 pesos, yeah. Then your entry price, 1.43, then follow the equation na lang that I showed, yung stop loss, di ba? Plug in mo na lang, then you should get around 11,900 shares approximately. Pero as I said, you have to adjust for the board lot, di ba? So for this naman, the board lot is 1,000 pesos each interval. So you cannot enter 11,900 shares. So gagawin mo is i-round down mo na lang siya. So from 11,900 shares, magiging 11,000 shares na lang that you can buy. So that times 1.43, you get 15,730. Then assuming a 100,000 peso portfolio value, you're only allocating 15.73%. So let me ask you, Franco, di ba? If you're allocating 15.73%, are you gonna be scared of the trade? Parang matatakot ka ba or not? Parang
No, I wouldn't be because I know that I'm only risking 1% of my entire portfolio.
Diba? So versus all in, diba? You're scared, diba? Kasi you don't know how much you're losing, right? How much you're risking. And in fact, you might be risking the whole amount of your portfolio, diba? Unlike here, talagang calculated yung risk mo, diba? So if matalo ka, you already know na you're only gonna be losing 1,000 pesos, di ba? Kasi naplano mo na siya, di ba? You have a stop loss, tapos may position sizing ka, di ba?
Yeah, you can keep your emotions on the side and then focus on the trade plan.
Yep, di ba? So let's go back here. So now that we have the flow, so we have a watch list. We have our entry, stop loss, and target price. So we have our trade plan. Then what we did a while ago, na-compute na natin yung position size natin. So what's the next step, di ba? It's the execution part, right? But wait, there's a catch. Franco, what's the catch?
You have to trade using Dragonfly.
Exactly, right? So of course you have to plug Dragonfly because it's really the best trading app, best trading platform in the Philippines. So first, I want to say what stands out about Dragonfly. And for me, when I was looking at it, it's really this feature that stands out. So did you know that you can set your entry, stop loss, and target all in a single order lang, di ba? So that's revolutionary, di ba? So parang entry, stop loss, target, isang order lang, di ba? You don't have to set different orders pa for your stop loss, for your take profit. everything in just one order.
Yeah, I
right?
think this is also perfect for those who can't always monitor the market and who has a certain amount of time in the day to, trade. So this order is perfect for you.
Diba? So, this is best for those na may trabaho, diba? Di nila ma-monitor yung trade nila. So, gagawin mo na lang is you set your buy, your stop loss, your take profit. Tapos yan na, diba? Let the market decide kung it will hit your target or it will hit your stop loss first, right? So, how it works is ganito. So, here, for context, what exit OCO means is OCO means order cancels order. So parang ganito lang siya. So here, if this buy order is filled, if na-execute itong buy order, it will trigger these two sell orders. Diba? So once na-hit yung buy, it will activate yung stop loss mo and yung target sell mo, diba? So once you execute yung buy order, ganito na lang. Diba? So you're just gonna wait kung tatama ba siya sa stop loss mo or it will hit your target price. Diba? At mag-take profit ka. So first, we need to explain muna ano ba yung mga order types. So first is the limit order. So how does a limit order work? So let's say, back to this trade plan, you want to buy at support. So here you see na at this level, tumatalbog yung presyo, right? Once it hits this level, it bounces. It's this level, it bounces. So now, nag-aabang ka ng buy and support. So you're waiting for price at around 17.3. So if you want to buy at 17.3, you set a limit buy order. So what this means is that gusto mo bumili at 17.3, yung buy order mo nasa 17.3. You're just gonna wait for price na bumagsak to 17.3 so that you can get filled on your order. So this is best for buy and support trades, di ba? Kasi alam mo na saan ka bibili, hintayin mo na lang na pumunta yung presyo dun, right? So just wait for price to hit that. So that's a limit order. So here's another example. Limit order pa rin siya, pero you want to buy now na, right? So you can see, so if you're another type of trader na you don't want to anticipate the bounce, parang gusto mo makita na nagba-bounce na siya bago mo bilhin. So example here, it's already at support, tapos nagba-bounce na siya, then you're like, okay, I want to buy here at this price na mismo. So if the price is already at 17.3 and you want to buy at 17.3, you can set your buy limit order. Diba? At 17.30 or higher. Bakit higher? Para ma-fill ka agad, diba? Kasi if the price is at 17.3 and you want to get filled immediately, edi you bid higher para ma-fill ka na, diba? You can get filled, you can buy the ask price, diba? So that's a limit order. So just a recap, so the two limit orders, so you can set a limit order if price is not yet there, but hintayin mo na lang yung presyo na bumagsak dun. Or if you want to buy immediately, you just set your buy limit order at or above the current market price para ma-fill ka agad. So another example, but this is for selling naman. So yung pinakita ko sa inyo a while ago, so that is for buying. How about for selling? How can you use the limit order? So for the limit order, for selling, this is basically for setting your target prices. So let's say nakabili ka na dito. So this is your buy and support. You want to sell naman. So what you do is you set your sell limit order at resistance. Diba? Yan yung target mo. So let's say you want to sell at 19.5. Benta mo at 19.5. You set your sell limit order at 19.5. So what will happen is hintayin mo na lang yung price na tumaas until 19.5. Para when it hits 19.5, ma-fill ka na in your sell order. So basically, this is best if you already know what your target price is, then hintayin mo na lang na pumunta yung presyo doon, right? So that's your sell limit order. Next is so here, so let's say that price already hit your target, pero you're the type of trader na you wanna see price find resistance. Parang gusto mo mauntog muna bago mo ibenta. So let's say here, 19.5 was your original target, pero you wanted confirmation na bumagsak siya. So let's say here, from 19.5, naging 19 na lang. Then you're like, uy, medyo nauntog. May benta ko na, right? So what you would do is, it's also a sell limit order, pero you set it at the current price or lower para ma-fill ka agad, right? So if the price is at 19, you set your sell limit order mga 18.95, ganun, para mabenta na agad, right? So you're gonna be selling it down so that you can get out immediately. So that's a sell limit order if you want to sell immediately. So just to recap, so sell limit orders, it's good for taking profits if you already know saan ka bebenta, 'di ba? Pila ka na lang, kumila na yung ask mo, 'di ba? Your sell order, ipila mo na lang sa taas, 'di ba? Then just wait for the price to hit it. The next is if nandyan na, tapos you just want to sell immediately, you just set your sell limit order lower or at the current market price so that you can get filled immediately. So ganun lang yung limit order. So next is the stop limit order. So this order, medyo mas complicated naman to. So basically, it's a buy or sell at a set price once price hits a trigger price. So basically, para siyang if and then statement. So how it works is, if the market price hits this price, so that's what we call the trigger or the stop price, then it will execute this limit order. So ganun lang siya. So if this happens, then execute mo itong order na to. So it's basically, it's composed of a stop price and then a limit order. Then the limit order will only trigger after the market price hits the stop price. So let's give an example naman. So this is a stop limit order for a breakout scenario. So let's say may resistance ka dito at 30 pesos. So psychological resistance level. So let's say you want to buy at 30. Pero price is not yet at 30, di ba? Pero you don't want to buy it prematurely, di ba? You want to buy it at the break of 30 talaga, di ba? Very precise breakout entry. So what you would do is you would set a stop limit order where your stop price is at 30. Tapos yung buy limit order mo is above 30, so mga 30.10. So what this means is that if the price hits 30, execute a buy limit order at 30.10. Diba? So this is basically a buy on breakout. So parang if hindi tumama sa 30, hindi siya mag-execute. But if it hits 30, it will buy it na. Kasi buy on breakout siya. So that's stop limit order for a breakout scenario. So next is for stop losses naman. So this is for the selling. So let's say, example, URC, you identified na may resistance dito, tapos bumili ka na sa breakout. Then you just want to set your stop loss na automatic, di ba? So that di mo na bantayin, right? So you put your stop loss here. So how do you execute that order? So that would be a stop limit order. That's a sell stop limit order. So what you would do is you place your stop price for the sell stop limit order at 117.5. So if it hits 117.5, you execute a sell limit order at 117.4. So bale, price can go up and down, pero kapag tumama na sa 117.5, it will cut your losses na kasi you have a sell limit order at 117.4, which will sell it down, then it will get you out of the position immediately. Diba? So, ganun siya. So, Here's an example. So back to the SPNEC example, diba? So the trade idea is a buy on support, diba? So you buy here 1.43, stop loss 1.36, target mo 1.70, diba? So here, since price is not yet at your level, it's not yet at 1.43, your buy dapat buy limit order at 1.43. That's a limit order. Then, what's your stop loss? Your stop loss will be a sell stop limit order. Kasi wala pa dito. It's not yet at 1.36. So, the order would be if the price hits 1.36, that's your stop price. If the price hits 1.36, it will execute a limit sell order at 1.35, di ba? So kung tumama sa 1.36, ibebenta na niya at 1.35 para ma-out ka na. Then for your take profit, it's simply a sell limit order at 1.7. So basically, there's a sell order here. Parang it will just wait if price hits 1.7, you'll take your profits na. So all those orders, you can already input it. All those three orders, you can input it all in a single order na lang using the exit OCO order, right? So basically, if this order executes, kung na-buy na siya, it will activate the two sell orders, diba? So you can execute all these three orders all in a single order. That's how powerful Dragonfly is. So there. So here's another example. So it's going back to the Ayala Land breakout trade. So how you would input this naman is ganito. So here, breakout, diba breakout idea tayo. So you want to buy at the breakout of 30 pesos. So since price is not yet at 30, you have to wait for it to hit 30, diba? So that would be a stop limit order, diba? Or a buy. So your stop price will be at 30. Then if price hits 30, your limit buy order of 30.10 will execute. So it basically, if it hits 30, magbabuy up na siya at 30.10 para ma-fill ka na agad. Then for your stop loss, it's a sell stop limit order. So if price hits 29.05, it will execute a sell limit order at 29. So if tumama sa 29.05, benta niya to 29. Okay? Then your take profit, that's a sell limit order. So parang naghihintay lang siya there. So if price hits it, take profit ka na. So all this in a single order with one exit OCO order. Diba? Ang galing, diba? So now that you know how to execute using the exit OCO order, does that mean sige, tira ka lang ng tira, diba? Just keep trading, diba? No, diba? So we also have to have portfolio and trade management. So the rule of thumb that I have, that I personally follow is your risk exposure dapat maximum of 3% lang at any given time. So example, you have 3 open trades, tapos they're all of them, they're risking 1% lang. So what would happen if if all those 3 trades natalo, diba? All 3 of them at the same time, they hit their stop loss. At that moment in time, you're down 3% of your portfolio. Diba? So that means you can only open 3 trades at a time. So that would protect you kasi di naman pwede na you're overexposed, diba? Your portfolio is overexposed, so that what happens is if the market is down big in one day, baka you're down 10% na agad, diba? So medyo masakit. So you have to really limit your exposure so that you're not too risky, diba? You can live to trade another day, diba? If you're down today, then who knows, maybe next week, tomorrow, diba? You find a good trade, bawi ka na, diba? So it's about not being too risky, diba? You're only risking 3% at a time so that you can live to see another day, right? you can trade again, di ba? Even though you're in a losing streak, di ba? It's fine, di ba? Because your losses, very tempered lang siya. The next is what really will make a difference in your risk management is using break-even stops, di ba? So, Franco, have you ever had those trades na you're up like mga 5 to 10% na, tapos natalo ka pa? Do you have
Yeah,
those trades?
yeah, I've had a couple of those already.
Yeah. So, those are the trades that really sting, di ba? Kasi you tasted you tasted profits na eh, tapos binawian lang ng market. So, for me, I've also had a lot of those trades. And from experience, masakit talaga. Those are the trades that you really remember versus the trades na it just hit your stop loss, plain and simple. Parang okay lang. Pero the ones na, uy, up ka na, tapos nawala pa, those really hurt. So what I do is I use break-even stops. So what this means is that kapag kumikita ka na, huwag ka na magpatalo, di ba? Because you're already winning, di ba? If you're already winning, then limit it to only two scenarios. Either it hits your target or break even. You don't lose anything, di ba? So that the loss, you already eliminate that probability. So that's what you do. So what's your break even stop? It's 1.19% above your entry price. So why 1.19? Kasi that's the fees ng PSE, di ba? So let's say you're already up 5%, di ba? You set your stop loss na to break even, which is 1.19% above your entry price. Para kapag bumalik yung presyo, wala ka ng talo, di ba? So basically, kapag pera na, wag na natin gawin bato, di ba? Pera na, naging bato ba? Wag tayo ganun yun. So that's how you do it. So here's an example. So ito, Jollibee. So let's say, ito may resistance level ka dito. So let's say you bought the breakout. Uy, you're up 5% na, di ba? Medyo happy ka na, di ba? Then what happens? Yun, bumagsak. So in this case, dapat nag-break even stop ka na, right? You should have sold at break even para malimit mo na yung downside. Kasi you're up 5% na, di ba? So why would you watch it go down below your entry price, di ba? Medyo masakit na yun. So it's all about managing these types of trades para you limit your risk, di ba? So if you're up na, don't let it turn into a loss, di ba? So ayun. So now, so yeah, it was a bit fast, but now I'll show you the Dragonfly platform demo so that you can visualize it even better than just the slides, right? Because more on conceptual yung pinakita ko sa inyo. So now let's try to apply it using the Dragonfly platform. So give me a second. Let me switch to the Dragonfly platform.
After all, theory only takes you so far, right, Jared?
Yes. So give me a second. I will just load up. Okay. There. Okay. So now I am sharing the Dragonfly platform. So when you log into your Dragonfly platform, you would see this. So this is your dashboard. So when you log in, this is what you would see. Then to go to your platform, you just click here, trade. Then it would lead you to the trading platform. Okay, so here, this is the trading platform. So as you can see, it's very sleek. And here you have a lot of workspaces. So a workspace is basically this. So you can customize your own workspace. So this is my personal workspace. So here I have the market depth. I have the time in sales. I have my watch list. You have a chart, the news. Then you can monitor your positions, right? So ganito siya. So let's simulate first how it would look like to plan out a trade. So here's an example. So we have Bloomberry. So how I would look at this is, I'll plot my resistance levels first. And I can see that here we have a resistance level. So here, once it hit this level, diba, bumagsak. Once it hit this level, bumagsak. Then once it hit this level, bumagsak. So parang this level around 12 pesos, this is a major resistance level, right? So I identify it here by drawing a rectangle here, right? So that's what I did. I drew it here. So next is, I'll think to myself, where am I gonna place my stop loss, diba? So for here, maybe below this candle. So below this candle, maybe below 11.6. So yan stop loss ko. The next, where do you set your target price? So for me, I can't really see a resistance level. So we go to the higher time frame. So maybe punta tayo sa weekly chart, 10 years. So ayun, di ba? May resistance level ka na dito. So here, once it hit this level, bumagsak. Hit this level, bumagsak. So here, you have a resistance level here. So that's around 13 pesos, di ba? So here, we have a trade plan na, di ba? So we can buy the breakout at 12 pesos. In stop loss natin, pwedeng below this candle, so around 11.58, ganun, below 11.6. Then our target would be here, around 13 pesos, right? So how we would execute that is, first, we go to the demo. So this is my workspace. Then I would click on Bloomberry. So here, Bloom, there. So this is the market depth. So the good thing about the market depth is that you see these buttons. These are actually the ask prices. When you click them, it will actually move to your order entry below. So as you can see, if you click it, your order entry pops up already. So that's a really cool feature. So how you would execute your trade plan is, once you press where you want to buy, diba? You press this plus button, and then click exit OCO. So there you have it. So now you can enter your buy, your stop loss, and your target all in a single order. So let's say you want to buy at the break of 12 pesos. So gagawin mo is, the order type, you would change this to stop limit because you want to buy at the break of 12, diba? So your stop price would be 12. Then your limit price will be above 12 pesos. So maybe around 12.04, let's say. Then your quantity, so whatever position size you computed. So let's say, for example, 10,000 na lang. Right? So that's your stop limit. The next is you have to set your target price and your stop loss. So let's say yung stop loss mo is around 11.58. So it's also a stop limit order. Diba? So 11.58. Diba? Then your limit price should be lower para ma-execute agad yung order nyo. So 11.56. Right? The next is your target price. Your target price would be 13 pesos, right? So basically just input 13. Then review your trade, review your order. So once you think that there's no errors, just click here and send. So there, your order is placed. Then you can check your order na lang if it's there. So here, Bloomberry, as you can see here, it says here, waiting stop. So hindi pa siya na-execute. Why? Because the price is still at 11.78. Hindi pa siya tumama sa 12. That's why the order is still waiting, it's pending pa kasi it has to wait for price to hit 12 pesos before it will execute the buy order. Then your stop loss order and your take profit, it's inactive. Why is it inactive? Because it's waiting for itong buy order na ma-execute muna. So until this buy order executes, it will not activate the other sell orders, diba? So that's how it works. So again, basically, you can use any of these widgets. I mean, these buttons. So here, 12, then it will pop up the order. If you want to change your order, just press here, clear data, and there. Then you can pick another stock. So example, GT Cap, right? So GT Cap, let's look at the chart of GT Cap. So ayun, GT Cap. Let's say you want to buy at support ulit. So let's say 600, di ba? Uy, may support dito around this level. So let's say you want to buy at support. You want to buy here. Tapos you sell at resistance mga 725 around here. So basically, we want price na bumalik dito. Then you want to sell it here. So this is a buy on support trade. Then your stop loss, you can maybe below 600. So around 580. So how would that look like? So again, you go here. So click where you want to buy it. So you can just scroll down the market depth. So click here, 600. You change the side, so dapat buy. You click the exit OCO order. So set your limit buy order at 600. Your stop loss will be a stop limit order. So let's place it at 580. Then you want to sell lower than 580 para ma-fill ka agad. So 579. Then your target price will be at 725. So there. So again, so you want to buy at support here again. So at 600, your stop loss below 580. Your target dito sa high na to, so 725. So how that would look like is here, di ba? 600, your stop loss below 580, your target 725. Then your position size, you just input it here. So let's say 1,000, right? So when you see that, confirm, okay, execute. So now check your orders. So there, it's working. So the buy order is already there. So it's waiting at 600. So your order is already here. So you can see it here. So you're just waiting for price na bumalik sa 600 para ma-fill ka. Then, once your buy order is filled, it will activate itong dalawang sell order. So one is your stop loss, then the other is your take profit. So that's how it works, right? Then how about an example of you want to buy the stock now, let's say. So say AGI. So AGI, let's say, parang you think that this is a double bottom, for example. So ito, parang nasa support siya, you want to buy now na. What you will do is go here, AGI, diba? Click buy now. So let's say you want to buy here, 10.6, bilhin mo na. So just input your position size, diba? Then execute mo na, right? So buy. There. So there. So dapat na-fill na siya, basically. So when you check it there, ayan, na-fill na. See, diba? So the price right now is at 10.60. Pero when you bought, it was at 10.66. So you bought it up basically. So that's why na-fill ka na. So you can see here, your price is filled already. Okay? So let's say you want to sell it naman. Okay, so let's say you don't want to hold it anymore. So press this. Okay, then how much AGI shares you have? 10,000. So just input it, 10,000. Then put it 10 point, put it lower. So 10.28, let's say. Press it. And there you should be filled. So there, your sell order is filled. So there. So those are the orders. Then here, a good thing you can also do is you can also link the widget. So example, it's not linked first. So let's unlink it first. So here, if you press FCG, if you notice the time in sales, the market depth, the news, they're still in AGI, right? So it doesn't change. So what you would do is you just press this, then you link it. So let's make it all orange, right? So that if you press another watch list, see it moves at the same time, right? So GT cap there, right? So you can also change the color. So let's say green, that's your favorite color, right? Like the Dragonfly logo, green. So just change that to green. So when you click your watch list, see, it's all MWC, it's all FCG, it's all RCR. See, it moves together. Oh, also the chart, you can also do that. So you would just there, change that to green. So there, it also changes, right? Then next is you can also customize however you want your workspace to be. So example, you just press this, then you can design it whatever you want. So let's say sample one. You name it whatever you want, diba? So let's say you put in the market depth, then you want your time in sales. So here you can also, oops, wrong one. You can also move it however you want. So wait, back, time in sales. So you can also adjust whatever you want, what information you want. So you can put here all these different types. So it's all customizable, right? So let's say AGI, just search it there. Then just link it to the market depth. So let's say green again, green again. So there. So if you want to add more elements, so let's say the news, then there you can move it. Then if you don't want the news here, parang yung gusto mo dito, ayun. So if you want the time and sales on top, sure, diba yung, if you want it below, if you want this here, right? So it's up to you, like you can customize how you want it to look like. It's not static, so it's up to you. If you want the news here, no problem. Personal preference, right? Then you can also save your, you can also save it. So just go here, you save your layout. So call it, blah, blah. All right, or just whatever. Dragonfly 1, right? Save. Then there, right? So if ever, like example, you mess up your example, you accidentally deleted everything, just go here, load Dragonfly 1. And you just wait, and there it's back, right? So if ever you made a mistake, as long as you save your layout, it's already there. So basically, that's how it works. So Franco, what other element of the platform do you wanna highlight?
Oh, the watch lists. I love creating watch lists for like different industries or trading strategies, you know.
Yep. So good thing. So the watch list basically here, you can just add symbols whatever you want. So let's say you want to add Ali, it goes here. You want to add AC, it goes here, right? Then you also have like public watch list. So let's say the list of the PSEI, you can just load it here. Then if you want to create your own watch list, right, there, create new, you can name your watch list. So let's say breakout, right? So all your breakout trades, you can just put it here. So let's say I'll place Bloom here since it's looking like a good breakout trade. So I place Bloom here, right? Then you can also do it by the sector. So if you want to look at the bank stocks, just go here, financials, they're all here already, right? If you want to switch to mining and oil, they're just here. If you want to look at services, property, it's all here, right? Then you can just chart it also. Then you can also put your watch list beside it. So for example, here, let's add our watch list, put it beside. So let's put this side by side, right? So PSEI, then let's link it together. So let's put this here. So basically, I can just skim through it, right? Right? You can see it in their chart already, right? So it's very convenient, right? So here,
Yeah, I think that's like my favorite feature of the trading platform.
yes. So yeah, this is how powerful the platform is. Then aside from this platform, we also have a lot of uh, supplementary features from the dashboard, right? You can access Investing Club, Investors Corner, and all the like. So basically, here's that. I will share screen on the Investing Corner and um, see, or wait, maybe Franco can share it first.
Share what? Sorry, Jared.
Can you share like the Investing Corner features, the Investing Club?
Oh yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Oh, wait, never mind. Wait, I got it. I got it. Oh, there, you're sharing. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So in the trading platform, aside from well, you see on the screen now we have the dividend screener. That's one of the very great features that we have. But the one that Jared was talking about was the Investing Club and the Investors Corner. And for with the Club, that's where we hold our model portfolio. Jared, what do you have to say about the model portfolio?
So it's been performing well, actually, like
Yes, yeah.
really well.
So currently we have AREIT, PLDT, and what else do we have again?
MWC.
Yeah, MWC. Right. Yeah. So aside from that, we also have our weekly updates.
Okay, pardon for that. So here it is. So let me. Okay, so here we have example here, the Investing Club. Oh,
As I mentioned earlier, we have the Investing Club and the Investors Corner. So with the Investing Club, that's where we hold our model portfolio, and we have our research analysis, our specialized research and analysis for various stocks and news updates, basically anything related to the market and what we hold in our portfolio. We also have our trade alerts. And then for account holders, one of the nice things that we do is we send out weekly updates. So that includes our weekly wrap-ups, our bullpen updates, and our charts in focus, which are there to supplement your trading journey. Yes. And that is all for our demonstration.
Okay, so thank you, Franco. So apologies for the technical difficulties, but essentially that ends our presentation, and I guess it's time to go to the Q&A.
Yeah. So yeah, great work, Jared. Thank you so much for that demonstration earlier and for teaching us how to execute our trades. And now it's time for the Q&A portion. So if you have any questions, please send them in the comment section and the chat box at the bottom, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. All right, let's get to it. Let's answer the first question. Can you set your limit or stop order price at the market price?
Okay, so can you set your limit?
Yes, you can, because so a buy limit is basically, well, it depends on what price you set. You can set it at the market price. For example, if AGI is trading at 10.5, for example, if you set your limit buy order at 10.5, then it will, and you send it, it will execute the order. But if you don't want to buy it at that price, and as mentioned earlier by Jared, if you think that the price will go down or go down, go down, then you can set it at a lower price, and it won't execute. It will be working. Yeah.
So it really depends. If you want to execute immediately, then it's better to buy. Sorry. It's better to set your limit order above the market price so that you can get filled immediately. But if you want to wait for the price to go down a bit lower, then you can set your limit order a little bit lower than the market price. So it's really up to your preference.
Yeah, but there is also a stop limit order which only executes when it hits your trigger. So it's an added step for it. If your limit order, if you don't want to simply execute at limit order, you can always put a stop limit order, which will only execute if the price hits your trigger and then your limit price, and yeah. All right, let's go to the next question. Do you put GTC, which is good till cancel, on your target and stop loss?
Okay, so for me, if example you cannot monitor it and you want the orders to just stay there until it either hits your target or stop loss, then yes, you do put a good till canceled order so that the order stays valid like tomorrow, the next day, then a week from now, a month from now, until it hits your target or stop loss. So yes, you do put a GTC on your target and sell. Because if you put a day order on it, once the trading day ends, the orders will expire and it won't work the next day.
Yeah, personally, I always go GTC. I always go for good till cancel. All right, thank you for that question. Let's go to the next. Can you explain how stop price works when buying stocks? Jared, I think this one's for you.
So stop price. So when buying stocks, so this is mostly for buy on breakout trades. So if you go back to the Ali example, so let's say you want to buy the breakout of 30 pesos, but the price is not yet at 30 pesos. So let's say it's at 29.5. So what you would do is you put stop price at 30 pesos so that once the price hits 30, that's the only time when you will start buying Ali. So because if you don't have the stop price, that means you'll have to wait for price to actually hit 30 and actually be there to buy it at 30, which it's not always possible at times. So there are people with day jobs that they really cannot look at the market and be there once the price is already at the breakout level. So that's where stop prices come in. You just set the stop price at 30. Then if the market price hits 30, even if you're working, as long as your order is already set, you'll still be able to buy the breakout. So that's how stop prices work. How about you, Franco?
Oh yeah, you explained it perfectly. Yeah, thanks for that, Jared.
Okay.
All right. Next question. What signs do you look out for in a chart to indicate a breakout?
Okay, so what I look for to indicate a breakout is I want prices to be steady at the breakout level. So once price hits resistance, your expectation is that it will resist and go down, back down to support, right? So in the cases where it hits resistance, tapos parang hindi na siya bumabagsak masyado, you see that prices are holding steady at the breakout level, then that's when you want to look out for it for a potential breakout because prices are not allowing itself to go back down to support, but instead they're just hovering at resistance. So those are the types of breakouts that I love to trade where prices just stalling below resistance. So for me, those are the best to look for breakout trades. How about you, Franco?
I do the same thing as well. I wait for the price to really hover below the resistance level, and then there are also instances where it breaks out, and then I would find I'd create a trade plan and only execute it if it sustains throughout the day and there is significant volume. Then I've more conviction that that breakout is more likely to succeed.
Okay.
All right, that was a great question. Let's go to the next. Does the platform offer heat maps? Yes, we do. If you go to the Market Pulse, and you scroll at the bottom, you'll see a heat map there of all the stocks in the market.
Yeah.
All right. If you have any more questions, please send them in. We'll answer them. Actually, what we can do is also show you the heat map.
Okay.
Hold on. All right. All right. So here, if you can see my screen, I'm at the Market Pulse. And if you scroll out to the very bottom, you'll see the heat map. And there you go. You can see like SMPH is up 30 cents from as of today. Yeah, so all you have to do is go to market and then click on Market Pulse and then the heat map. Yep.
Okay. Hope that answers your question. So let's continue. So there, how to join the investing club.
Oh, all you have to do is create an account and you'll automatically join the investing club. Yeah. Next question. By how many percent does the stock need to move higher above your entry before you move your stop loss to break even?
So for me, around 5%. So if the price moves up 5%, I usually set my stop loss to break even. So yeah, that's what I use. But it's really up to you. But for me, based on my preference, I think 5% is good enough. How about you, Franco?
Yeah, 5% is good. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So
Thank you for that question. What do you do if you are in a losing streak in trading? Jared, I feel like you have something to share here.
So I'm in a losing streak lately in the US market. So right now I'm just taking a break. Like I'm not trading. So what you really need to do is refresh your mind. Stay away from the charts first, like recalibrate, check your trading journal, what you have been doing wrong. So if you check your previous trades, like is there a common denominator on what's causing the trades? Maybe you're over trading, maybe the breakouts you're trading don't really have much volume. So try to find a pattern in your losses and reevaluate if there's something wrong with your strategy or it's just your psychology or something like that, and try to address them. So once you already checked what's wrong, you already know what to improve and all that, and you think that you're ready to start trading again, then go there, right? Trade small when you get back, since if you trade big immediately, you might make the losing streak even worse, right? So once you get back, trade small until you regain your losses, then just try to keep it steady. Like don't go for any big home runs, right? So that's what I would do. How about you, Franco?
Usually when I had a straight losing streak, I would take a break, go back, review my trading plans, my strategies, do some back testing. Excuse me. And then I would start small again. I would have a smaller position size, risk a bit less, just so I can also keep my emotions at bay, manage them properly. And then one of the most important things to remember is that your next trade has to be really perfect. Although it can't always be 100% guaranteed that you'd win, but you have to do your best, your research and fundamentals, technical analysis to ensure that your next trade is almost a guaranteed win. Because from there, once you get that, it really builds up your confidence. And from there, you can start going back to trading regularly.
Yeah. So you really want to look for high probability setups, like when you're coming back from a losing streak, right? So really look for those high probability. Like don't settle for less just because you think na, oy, parang pwede na. If you think pwede na, that's not good enough. Dapat this is really, really good, right? Like you can't hold it in. But it should not be an impulse trade. So you have to try to find the right balance. So hope that helps.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question. Do I receive an email when buying or selling is when it's fulfilled? I do not intend to watch every day.
Yes, you do. So if you should check the email linked to your Dragonfly account. So you should get an email on all your transactions. So when you after buying or selling, there should be a trade confirmation in your email on all the trades you've done. So yes, you should have. So
Yeah.
it's in your email.
So I traded the stock today, so I would definitely get an email with it later within the day. Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Before the
shows
day's over, you would get an email.
it would show also the transaction fees and all that. All the breakdown should be there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that question. Let's go to the next. Are there any other risk management rules that you employ in your trading aside from position sizing?
Okay, so other than position sizing, like what I said, it's the exposure level. So if you're risking 1% in one trade, and then you're risking another 1% in one trade, then you're risking 2% overall. So like I said, I want to minimize that to a maximum of 3%. So if I'm risking 1% per trade, then I can only have 3 open trades at a time. So that when the market drops, like everything just drops, in a day, I can only lose a maximum of 3%. So for me, that's really the hidden sauce. Then also that, aside from that, it's also the break-even stop. So when you're up already, don't allow your gain to turn into a loss. So those are the two main risk management tools I use aside from position sizing that have really made me stay in the game for quite a long time already. So how about you, Franco?
One of the other rules I have is managing industry risk, where I really try not to over diversify or have too much exposure to one sector or industry. Like for example, if I have a Metro Bank or BPI already, I wouldn't go for a third banking stock anymore because that would put a higher industry risk, and I have a high and when the banking sector doesn't do well, I will lose more than I should be losing. Yeah. So industry risk is one other rule I follow. Now it's time for our last question. Oh, I'm sorry, that is our last question. I'm so sorry about that. So as we're about to end the second part of our technical analysis 101 from Charts to Profit webinar series, a massive thank you to everyone who tuned in today. We are just in part 2 of our 3-part webinar series, and the excitement will continue on March 22 at 5 p.m. So please make sure to save the date, invite your friends and your family so that more people can learn how to trade stocks with Dragonfly. Links to where you can register will be posted after this webinar, but you can also scan the QR code flashed on the screen. And for all things stocks and trades, don't forget to like our Facebook page and join our Facebook group. If you have any more questions that unfortunately we weren't able to answer, you can send us an email at investingclub@dragonfly.ph, and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. This concludes our webinar for tonight. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you on March 22.